Hi everyone. I hope this is gonna work. My phone just popped up and said I have really bad signal here, which is odd because it's my office and I always have great signal. But anyway, hi everyone. Welcome to my first live on the Sexy Selfish page. I am still getting used to doing lives. I'm not very good at it, but today I've had a bunch of inboxes from my Human as Fuck tribe about expectation hangovers. So I thought I would do a live here to chat with all of you about it because it seems like it is a topic you guys are really interested in and you don't really understand yet. So I would love to be able to help some of you understand a bit more on this beautiful Monday. So expectations, we do talk a little bit about expectations, opinions and obligations in week 5 of Human as Fuck School, which is awesome. And I know the girls doing that segment this week have had some amazing breakthroughs so far, which is kind of what's prompted me to chat with you guys about it today. So expectations and expectation hangovers can be really, really damaging, and it's not until you're aware of what they are and how to cope with it that you can really see them in so many aspects of our lives today. We really live in that perfectionist society where we all want more, we all want better, and you know, when we don't get our way or things don't go according to plan, it can leave us feeling so disappointed and guilty and really hungover about life and wondering where to go next. So an expectation hangover, kind of to explain it the best way, is when things go according to our plan. You know, the big giant plan of life. Go to school, get good grades, leave, go to uni, get good grades, get a good paying job, buy a house, get married, have 3 kids. That's kind of like the plan of the universe. Well, not the plan of the universe, that's society's plan for you, right? And we feel like when things aren't going according to plan, we end up with expectation hangovers. We feel guilt, we feel disappointment. Whereas when things are going according to the plan that you may have for yourself or that society has for you, we feel safe and we feel accomplished and we feel on track. So when things are going according to plan, we feel safe and accomplished and, you know, we're comfortable, we know what we're doing and we know who we are. And then things happen that aren't according to plan. Life throws you a giant curveball, or you don't get that promotion, or you bought that big beautiful house and guess what? Your relationship was the same in the big house as it was in the little house. Nothing was fixed. That's the expectation hangover. That's the guilt and disappointment coming up to show you, hey, guess what? You can't plan everything. And we're in this society where we feel like we need to plan everything. We need to know the next step. We need to be heading somewhere. We need to, oh, my cousin bought a house, I need to buy a house. Oh, my friends got engaged, I need to get engaged. And we're just living in this constant state of expectation hangovers. And it really, really sucks. And I'm over going out with my girlfriends and hearing the same statement, I feel not worthy because I haven't achieved ... yet. And it just breaks my heart, and enough is enough. So once I understood this concept that when I was expecting someone to behave a certain way, I was expecting for some object or something to fulfill me and it didn't happen, that I was experiencing this anxiety, this expectation hangover where I start to question who I am, if I'm good enough. I have this big disappointment in myself. I often feel sick for a few days after I get some news or once I realize what's happening. Once I was aware that this was happening, it got so much easier. It was just able to, my relationships became more genuine and more authentic. You know, I was actually enjoying myself more because I didn't have all these expectations hanging over me. And that's really the key, is to not have expectations of people, places or things, which is really difficult because as a society over the last how many years, we are told you should expect, you should behave in a certain way, you should, and it's all the shoulds and all the labels that are stuffing us up. So, some examples to help you kind of get the idea is, a couple of years ago I was having a party and I really expected that one of my friends was going to show up, and I was so excited. You know, I'd spent ages planning it. I'd got everything organized, you know, cute invites, everything went out. It was going to be a great night. I was so excited to catch up with everyone. And, you know, I was just like, this is going to be the most amazing night. I was so excited. And she showed up, which was amazing, but I found out later she had a headache. So she was not in the mood to have fun than I was. She was, you know, really blur and lethargic, and she's like, oh, you know, can I just have a coffee? I don't really feel like having champagne. And at the time, I was just so disappointed, and I got so angry at her. I was like, I've spent months planning this party. How dare you come here and do this? Like, you should support me. You should be happy for me. And then looking back on reflection, a couple of days later, I realized that, you know, we spoke, and she's like, I was really not feeling well that night. I realized that I had an expectation of her. I had this space in my head where I expected what she would behave like and what she would say and what she would do when she turned up. And when she didn't behave accordingly to my expectation, I was angry at her. I created something in my head, and when she didn't fulfill that, I was angry at her. How messed up is that, right? It's just taking a different look at things, and it's not okay, really, to be angry at someone for just being themselves when it was you who had an expectation of how they should be. So another example is dealing with a breakup. And I know this can be really, really rough on a lot of people. It's obviously quite an emotional time, an emotional experience. But how often have you heard, you know, you're talking to a friend and she's broken up with her partner, and, you know, maybe he's moved on really fast, or maybe he's out partying, maybe he's doing something, and she's like, he shouldn't be doing that. He should respect me. That's not the way you're supposed to behave when you break up with someone. Hello? Major expectations. You guys might or may not have experienced this before, but I certainly have, where you're talking to a friend and, you know, they've broken up, or maybe a friendship's ended, or something's happened, and they have major expectations of how that other person should behave in that situation. Guys, there's really only two things you have control over, and that's your own body and your own attitude. You can't control anyone else, and to have expectations of other people is just not fair, really. You can only control yourself, so why do we have expectations of other people that they can't possibly fulfill? As well, because a lot of the times we keep these expectations in our own head and we never communicate them. So how could someone possibly know how you would like them to behave when we never say anything? It's just kind of expected. And then we end up with an expectation hangover. Oh my God, I can't believe he's moved on so quickly. He should not be out drinking. He's out doing this. He's changed all his social media. That's so not fair on our relationship, what we had. Well, hold up. First of all, major expectation alert. But second of all, he's his own person. He can do whatever he likes, just like you're your own person. You can do whatever you like. We got to stop having expectations of each other. It's really damaging us. Another example is work. So a couple of years ago, I wanted this job at a local dentist. I love the idea of being a dental assistant and free teeth whitening, and I was really excited. Out of 58 people, I got down to the final 3. I went for my interview, and I 100% thought I nailed it. Really, I was like, there is no doubt in my mind I'm getting this job. Only to get a call 3 days later to say that I didn't get the position. They went with someone slightly older, because they looked on social media and they knew that I wanted to have a baby. I was crushed. I was completely devastated, and I cried for a good couple of days. I had this expectation. I'd built it up so much in my head. I'd pictured what my life was going to be like once I got this job, this position. And when it didn't happen, I was struck with the disappointment, the guilt, and massive feelings of I'm not worthy enough. All because I put such a high expectation on myself. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having goals, with striving to be better, but it's realizing and recognizing that that is still an expectation. And when you know, life doesn't go according to plan, it just means you readjust, refocus, and keep going. It doesn't mean to completely destroy yourself. Hi, Laura. Thank you for all the love. So another expectation hangover I've experienced is with my kids. This happens all the time for me, and it's been really up to me to make a conscious effort not to expect so much of them. I mean, they're kids. Eric's 6, Holly's 3. Sometimes I go to pick Eric up from school and I'm like, yes, it's Friday afternoon. I'm going to take him to get some ice cream. We're going to go to the park. It's going to be great. He's going to be so happy. It's Friday. He'll be really excited. And I get to school and he's the grumpiest little turd I've ever met. Like, he is giving me sass the minute he comes out from class. He's grumpy, he's mumbling, he won't talk to me, he throws his bag in the car. And I just feel like all my dreams and hopes have been shattered in that moment. I get that guilt, I get that disappointment, like, oh God, why can't he just, I'm so excited to do something, why can't he just be excited, why can't he just be happy? And then I look in the rearview mirror and I take that mental check that goes, Shoni, you're expecting so much of him. I'm projecting my expectations and how I should believe he should act onto a 6-year-old. He's 6, dude. He's allowed to be grumpy coming home from school if he wants, and he's allowed to be happy. But in that moment, I had a plan, I had an expectation, and I had goals. And when life threw me a curveball, I was instantly disappointed. And I projected that by being angry and snappy towards a 6-year-old. Now, I don't know what happened at school. I don't know what's going on. It's not the point. It was the point in me now since I understand about expectations and expectation hangovers and obligations and shoulds, I was now able to not worry about the park, not worry about ice cream, climb in the back seat of the car and just give him big, ridiculously squeezy hugs until he felt better. Because I was able to put my own shoulds in my back pocket and just maybe give him what he needed right now, instead of expecting him to give me what I needed. So I guess in closing, expectation hangovers are really dangerous. I would encourage you moving forward to just think, next time you go, oh, my mum should be here because I'm sick and I need help. My friend should want to catch up for coffee because I messaged her. My husband should want to spend time with me and should want to go see The Greatest Showman on Earth. Showman? The Greatest Show on Earth? You know that movie. He should want to do that with me. I should be further along. I'm 25. I should have bought a house. I should be traveling more. I should have money saved in the bank. Stop all the shoulds, guys, because the shoulds are causing you the disappointment, the guilt, the frustration, and the confusion in your life. And shoulds are just bullshit anyway. So let's just get rid of shoulds. You set the standard for you, but don't let expectation hangovers destroy the next 50, 60 years of your life. You do you. Respect that your friends do them and your family do them and your workmates do them, and let's just try and live with a little bit less expectations of other people's, of places, of things as well, guys, because things aren't going to make you happy. It's time that we learn to love people and use things, not the other way around. But that's a topic for another live. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful Monday, and hopefully you're going to spend the rest of the day expectation free. Just enjoy where you are and what you're doing and who you're with.